Well, I moved to Kerry. I was getting jealous of all the nice mountains down here, and Dublin wasn't cutting it anymore. This is my first official camp in the kingdom, and what a day for it, boy. I want to go see if I can get to a lake where I could camp, but I don't know the area very well, so I'm going to stick to the route. There is a small hill to the left of the route. Hopefully I'll be able to see over to the lake, see what the ground looks like. It's a busy route though. There's like 20 people ahead of me. And a man on a horse, I think. Unless it's just a big man on far more. Anyway, buzzing for my first Kerry camp.
It turned out the big man was part of a group of American tourists who were hiking up to a waterfall ahead. There were some families as well as the group taking pictures, who told me it's a popular viewpoint on tours of the peninsula. Once I passed the waterfall though, the groups thinned until there wasn't anybody else on the trail.
That's Carron-Two Hill. Not in between those two mountains in the distance. It's two big peaks there. One of them, I'm 90% sure, is Carron-Two Hill, which is, or Carron-Two Hill, which is the tallest mountain on the island of Ireland.
I knew somewhere upstream of that river was the lake I was trying to find. I continued along the trail dotted with sheep until all I had left was the trails that they had made.
There's several vague trails up here. It's very hard to differentiate between what's what. You can sort of look at the topography around you with the map, and it's easy enough to know where you are. I needed to get to this hill behind me to know if I could get to the lake or not, and if I could cross the river, because I couldn't tell really how wide it was from looking at the maps. It looks pretty crossable, and there is trails going this way towards the lake. I'm optimistic that I can get there. There's like a plateau, big plateau here between all the mountains. Just a big valley, but it's quite flat. And I thought that is prime location for just bog, just peat. And surely enough, that's exactly what it is. There's no trail, so I'm just on the old compass and map. Good camp by the river over here. I mean, I'm right beside it here. If I can't get to the lake, which to be honest, I'm not sure I can. This is completely waterlogged here. All of this wet shit is just bog. My only issue, I don't mind getting around bogs and all of that crack when I'm just hiking, it's grand. It's when I'm camping. If something happened, if I tripped and hurt my ankle, or the unforeseeable happened and I needed to get out of here at night time, that's my top concern when I'm wild camping. And if I camped beside this river here, which I'm contemplating now, and I need to get out of here at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'd need to get through this bog, and wouldn't fancy trying to do it in the middle of the night. I managed to get through the bog, over the river, because I saw what looked like a man-made structure. Just hope there isn't a load of sheep living in this That's not a bully, man. That'd be a big bully. I see maybe 4 or 5 of these. It's like little triangle shaped. I don't know, houses, bullies. In the middle of nowhere. Bullying, for anyone who is unfamiliar with it, is a tradition in Ireland that's thousands of years old. They do it in lots of places in Europe, or did it, but it seems to be specifically in Ireland we call it bullying. But the young people of a community would bring the cattle into the uplands during the summer for grazing, and then they'd bring them back down then when it started to get into harvesting season. Kind of just going with it now. I'm off the bog, so I'm feeling kind of nice. I swear that's like a little road. Like, you can see the river there, and when I was walking up, there's like these. It was almost like a big stone trail. But like if there's people here, it would make sense that there would be an old stone trail there, and maybe a crossing point here. It looks like. Jeez, I'm pure tempted to set up down here. It's all just so nice here. There's the ground is like nice and flat. It's really level. Water's right there. I'd have to check and see how far the lake is. I think I'm about 1 kilometre away from the lake.
After realising I had completely overshot the loch, I hiked back east and up about 30 metres in elevation to see if the loch was hidden behind a small hill. And surely enough, there it was. I found a nice flat spot for the tent with the best camping views I have ever had.
I found the lake. I went to check the map to send my location to my partner, and I realised that I had overshot the lake by probably half a kilometre. So I walked back, walked up, found the lake. So, mission complete. I always like to set myself little targets when I do hikes, whether it's a mountain peak or standing stone or anything like that. And I wanted to come up here because this is like one of the bigger wild areas on the Dingle Peninsula. But there's not much in here. I didn't know about those huts. That would have been a good one, but the lake looked kind of cool, so I thought that's a good little target to hit. I also noticed as well, this thing keeps getting in the way on the gimbal, which is problematic. So I apologise for the gimbal sneaking into shot. I'm starving. I forgot I had a Snickers and jellies in my pocket. That's how determined I was to get to the lake. I forgot about Snickers and jellies, which is mental. Starving. So I have some couscous, however you want to say it, and some mackerel for dinner, which I'm very much looking forward to. I'm going to get stuck into now in a few minutes.
things you do to look at the sunset. It's actually not too bad, Midgie-wise. They kind of seem to have backed off a little bit. The temperature dropped a lot in the last half an hour. People ask me why I wanted to move to Kerry. This is why. This is a half an hour drive from my house. Granted, it's a 2.5 hour hike from there, but half an hour from my house. Hang on. I think I'm alright. This is the best place I've ever camped, I think. Can't think of a nicer spot. I feel bad now getting into a tent. I think I'll hang out for a little bit. Enjoy the sunset. I'm gonna go look at it and eat a bannock and have a sip of freshly boiled water from a nasty tasting loch. That's the only bad thing about this, the water in the loch tastes a bit rotten. Wood camp again. Yehoah Kharja. I woke up just in time to see the sunrise. Coffee and something to eat were the priority at 6 AM. Madenois. Pretty good sunrise this morning. One of the better sunrises that I've gotten. Usually you get hit with a load of clouds first thing in the morning. So look, there's a cloud inversion down by the sea over there. But up here is clear. Managed to make some fresh coffee. I brought a little drip coffee setup. Oh boy. I also made some bannocks. These are unreal hiking / camping food. I got the recipe from a Scottish YouTuber called Fandabidozi. I apologise for the accent. Fandabidozi. And it has changed how I eat when I'm hiking and camping now, because they're like biscuits, but they're just quite dense and dry, so they last for a long time. You got them for a good few days. He says if you dry them out they can last for years, which, I mean, if they're completely dry, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to, but I'm not going to be eating a year-old bannock myself. But they are just fat, flour and oats, whatever filling you want. This is peanut butter and raisins. And the fat is butter, of course, because I'm in Kerry. Why would you not be using the best butter in the world when you live in the county that it is made? You could do a whole day on 2 of these if you needed to. It tastes really nice.
They're a little dry. That's the combo. Coffee and a bannock. Sunrise in the mountains.
After devouring my bannock and coffee, I began to pull down camp, leaving no trace that I had been there the night before. I then headed back down towards the river.
Up there, that little plateau up there, that's where the lake is. I'm back over the river. I'm heading for that hill. It's funny, only a couple of years ago, I would not have had the confidence to just head off trail for an hour. You kind of have to get good at it here. There's loads of cracking spots in Kerry that aren't trailed. But doing the mountain skills courses, I did the first two. It's just sort of basic navigation and reading terrain and maps and all of that crack. It gives you a huge boost in confidence. I think I actually... Oh, here's a dodgy bit of bog. This is the bog that you don't want to walk into. This is the unknown bog. Ooh, that could be 6 inches deep or 6 foot deep. No idea. Avoid this bog. Bad bog. That's the bog I was afraid of if I had to trek through here in the middle of the night. Okay, I began the ascent up the hill. I am 13 meters up. I'm back on the trail. Quite an enjoyable little trek back over the bog. As about enjoyable as a trek over a bog can be. Oh, wow, there's a complete cloud inversion over the valley where Inch Beach is, just before the Killarney National Park. I have zigged and zagged my way down from the saddle. I'll give my my usual conclusion as I'm on the tail end towards the car. I think everything went to plan pretty much. I had my small goal of reaching the lake and I almost gave up on it twice just because I wasn't sure exactly where it was and where I was. My self-location was pretty off, so I thought I was about a kilometre downstream of the loch, but turns right beside it. I was just at the wrong tributary. But anyway, I just wasn't looking properly, I don't think. I was just winging it. I was just cruising around. I was happy to be out there doing the thing, getting excited when I saw stuff and going and looking at it and just exploring a little bit, being very loose. Sleep was grand. Tent sleeps, they are what they are. So the sun's after tucking in behind the mountain. But I can never quite calm. Wahoo! I can never quite calm the sleepy anxiety. maybe I'll get more used to it. I've wild camped quite a bit now and it's always the same. But anyway, the tent sleep was as tent sleeps are. Yeah, and then pack up and everything. The midges came out just as I had packed my bag. Everything was just in, and then the midges started to swarm. Well, not swarm, you know, but you could see them. They were all starting to gather around a little bit. So I beat the midges. But that was one of the best spots I've ever camped in. Hands down, 100%. No competition. Spots, that's the only thing that I'm yearning for now, is to find a nice to find a nice native woodland, which are hard enough to come by. I've camped in sort of semi-native in Roscommon. It's like it was a mix. That was really nice, although it was Halloween night. It was a few years ago. Wish I was making videos then, that would have been class. Went into Uvnagat. It's supposed to be the entrance into the other world in Irish mythology. Maybe I'll go back there. Although it's a fair drive from Kerry to Roscommon now. But I camped in a native woodland close to the cave. And I went in there that night and tried to summon some ancient Irish spirits. To no success. Tried speaking Irish to the Morrigan and everything. She was having nothing to do with me.
While reminiscing about previous camps in my head, I took in the views around me. Looking forward to the views ahead of me the day before, I hadn't noticed how quality the parking spot was from this side, surrounded by forests, mountains and a big lake. Until the next one, slán go fóill.